Hello and welcome to today's solve of Brendan's crossword on Monday the 15th of February 2021. It will soon be Christmas at this rate. The time is evaporating this year. Um, so Brendan is a great setter, incredibly witty, so this crossword may well end up being quite tricky. Although, as it's a Monday, it might not be as tricky as some of his, but we'll see. Um, I believe I'm right in saying that Brendan is somebody who is or was the former editor for the Times crossword, so he certainly knows a thing or two about crossword settings, so this should be fun. So let's take a look. 7 across. Emperor in cape, others in Rome, drag back inside. Hmm. Presumably it's the name of an emperor. I mean, there's loads of them. Not too sure about that. Come back to that. So I've got 9 across. Like some remedies, brother turned over central to cure. 6 letters. I don't think the definition is cure. It's more likely to be some remedies. Brother can be bro, it can be fr for father, or sometimes br, as in monks. Um, so something like that, but reversed, and then a word for secure. Oh, herbal would do it. So that's br inside heal for cure. Tempted to put that in. See where that gets us. 6 down. Beginning, completed, possibly the letter C, over a year. Over a year could just be the letters A and Y. And then a word for completed. So the definition here is beginning. I suppose if that were AY for a year, then we want a word for completed. Done would do it. So day 1 is beginning, which is, yeah, it's fair enough, I suppose. Bit of a stretch that, because beginning could be anything, but I think it makes sense from the wordplay. Inexperienced and unimportant, question mark. Okay. Don't know. 4 down. Second US president across time was highly inaccurate in pursuing goal. Presume the definition is inaccurate in pursuing goal. So second could be the letter S. I'll have to come back to that one. 14. Nothing right about fake news. That's more than fair. Nothing right could be OR. O for nothing, R for right. About fake news is a lie, presumably. Yeah. Come back to that. Let's look at 2 down. Family internally raised capital. Oh, is that mean, we're supposed to think money here due to raised capital, but I suspect that's too misleading and obvious. In which case, it could be capital as in a city of a country. Oh, it is actually. If you so internally raised is in this case backwards, and Lima is embedded in there. So in this case, was money. 10 across. Cheese definition: having fine character from its source. F for fine, and okay, so eta, eta, from its source being Greek, and feta is a Greek cheese. Iffy, that one. One down with an E. Attachment from down under, going astray in the mail, PS left out. Definition is presumably attachment. Down under makes me think of Australia. Going astray could be an anagram indicator of something, but I don't know what. Oh, it's tricky. Where haven't we looked yet? Let's go 4 again. Second US president. Alright, so I'm going to still think that S for second here. So I think the definition is inaccurate in pursuing goal. So we want the name of a US president, and I think a cross here is telling us that it's an envelope. So an envelope is where you are obviously putting letters around something else. So in this case, you know, it's the letters of presumably second S and T for time. Two words. Oh, if yes, okay. So Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover. Hoover was an American president, and S for second and T for time gives you shot over. And if you shoot over something, then you've underestimated it, and you know you've highly inaccurate in pursuing the goal. So that explains that one. Again, nothing right about fake news. That's more than fair. Definition here might be more than fair. And that V is interesting because nothing doesn't just have to be the letter O, although it typically is. The letter O, meaning nothing, can also mean love, as in the tennis reference for nothing, as in the score, plus an R for right, and it was lie for fake news. So put love, lie, and R together, you put lovelier for more than fair. So it's fair in that sense. Good grief. So the definition here is probably okay. Inexperienced is probably inexperienced is green. If you're green, then you're new to something. And light light can mean unimportant, and a green light is okay. If somebody gets the green light, they give them the go ahead or the okay. So that kind of fits. 17 across, place in Europe. British bunglers oddly forfeited. So British can sometimes just be the letter B, or it can be BR. Bunglers oddly, that's where you take alternate letters from, in this case, the word bunglers, because it's telling you bunglers oddly. So if that were B, if it's BR for British, then we've got something G, something something, something. So start from G and go. So it starts from U, G, E, and S. And Bruges is certainly a place in Europe, although other places are available. Why, how you're supposed to get that as a place in Europe is a little bit harsh. I mean, why, there's many places in Europe, for crying out loud. I mean, how many countries and cities alone are there? 18 down. Sailor using his head in final act on board. I mean, on board can sometimes mean SS for on board the steamship. Maybe it ends in an S in that case. Um, hmm. If the definition was sailor, so the names for sailors, tars, salts, AB, able-bodied, able seaman, that sort of thing. So the definition was sailor. Using his head would be the letter S, which we've got. And in can mean trendy or hip. Now that is interesting because the word ship goes with sailor in some ways. Ah, yes, and the final act on board. This is brilliant. This isn't on board as in on board a ship, but in terms of chess, checkmate or mate is the final thing that you do on a board. Boards are often always chess in cryptic crosswords. So ship plus mate, shipmate, is a sailor. It's a fantastic clue. Very misleading there with on board and sailor. That can lead you down all sorts of wrong avenues. Another boat and sea reference. Get in boat at sea. That's an anagram of in boat. The definition here is get, and if you anagramize in boat, you have obtain. Okay, 22 down. Escape from disastrous tour with global organization. So disastrous tour makes me think of the letters of tour anagramized. And a global organisation, that's typically always the UN for United Nations. And if you outrun, then I suppose you technically escape. 26. Peers enjoy it. Also, English upper classes wants. Peers. So this could be peers as in the House of Lords and those sorts of honorary peers, or it could be looking into something, or it could be peers as in colleagues. Not sure. Come back to that. 23 across, ending in a T. Impression about article by journalists being downer. I suppose the definition is downer, as in depressing, that sort of thing. Journalists are sometimes known as the press. Need some letters, really. Let's go back to 7 across. Don't know. 1 down. Attachment. Emperor in cape. Others in Rome. Drag back inside. So I think the letter C for cape is entirely plausible. Others in Rome as a phrase would be alia, A-L-I-A. That's interesting. Drag, if you lug something around, then you drag it. Backwards is G-U-L plus alia plus C. So Caligula was an emperor. Yeah, in Rome. So it's tempting. Just double check that actually. So alia is there for others in Rome. Lug backwards, and C for cape, and Caligula, the name of an emperor. Okay. Become exhausted, so bring about dismissal. 3-3. There must be a double definition. Run out. If you're run out, you're exhausted, you've got nothing left. And run out can mean to bring about a dismissal. It's interesting actually, because we've got outrun down here and we've got the reversal. That can't be a coincidence. Repeat mistake of first woman in public television. The first woman was Eve in the biblical sense. Television is often colloquially referred to as the box in the UK. And public is open, so the phrase open the box. Oh, yes, okay, so the first woman, the mistake of the first woman in this case is Pandora. Right. Okay. 8 down. Energy put into singular achievement in games, like the Olympics. Energy put into singular achievements. I think the letter E for energy is tempting there. And achievement in games, well, at the Olympic medals, you have gold, silver, and bronze. And actually, I can see already that gold, filling in the remaining letters there, gives you age old as a phrase. And I suppose one could say that the Olympics is age old because it's been there for a long time. Could do a 12 as starter for lunch. The letter L, tucked into, put inside, game at table. Well, game at table could be anything. Could be bridge, could be rummy, patience, pyramids. I mean, there's loads of games. So presumably the definition then is as, which seeing as this is Brendan, well, I wouldn't put it past him. As. Okay. Whist is a card game. German whist. There's lots of different varieties of whist. It's the sort of forerunner to bridge. Whist plus an L gives you whilst, and that is another word for as. No idea about that. Attachment from down under. Going astray in the mail. I'm sure there is an anagram in here somewhere. I just can't see it yet. 15 across. What's good in dish with pastry covering? Well, lots of things are good in pastry, I suppose. I mean, that's why people eat pies. And in fact, I wonder if pie plus a G for good. Covering could be on. Oh, pigeon. Pigeon. What's good in dish with pastry covering? I guess it's pigeon, but I don't like it. I mean, I'll put it in. Pie, G for good, and ON for covering. Yeah, awful clue. Right, 16 down. 75% of display in public was excessive. So I guess the definition is excessive. Not sure. Okay, let's try 20 across. That might help us. Method learnt differently in North American city. Okay. Crank out the atlases, guys. Place in North America. Learnt differently makes me think the letters of learnt anagramized, and then a two-word method. Okay, so method typically stands for modus operandi, or MO. MO plus the letters of learnt would give you Montreal, which is a place in North America. 21 down. At unspecified time, not enough to raise capital. Definition is at unspecified time. Not enough to raise capital, question mark. The question mark there makes me think this is clever wordplay. Do you know, I wonder if I wonder if this, because if you look at the symmetry of this grid, we had outrun and run out. Day one day is at an unspecified time, and raise capital. He's being very clever here. What's the expression? Rome wasn't built in a day, and I think that's where he's. I think that's where he's trying to get cryptic there. Certainly, one day is an unspecified time, which means then that 13 presumably has symmetry with 5 down. Settle on location for putting lime, say. I've been caught out by this before, where I think the definition here is lime, say, so lime, e.g. But putting could actually also be putting. And if it's putting, then we're into greens, fairways, any golfing reference that you care to think of. But I think it is just a reverse sort of 5 down. So light green would be lime, say, a nice light green colour. A green is where you putt, as I've just said, and settle on location. Well, if you are light or if you light, then you've arrived at some location. Okay, yeah. Very clever symmetry going on here. This is great. What does that do for 16 down? Nothing yet. Try 25 across. Look. Openers in batting order. Seen in pavilion. So the definition is pavilion. The openers of batting order are the first two letters of B and O, which will be at the end here. And yes, so gazebo is a pavilion, and if you gaze, then you look. Try 19. Hundreds initially fleeing icy enclosure in autumn, so to speak. Hundreds initially fleeing makes me think of the letter C for 100 in Roman numerals. But the fact that it's plural also makes me think that we need to remove more than one out of a word for icy enclosure. Also wondering whether or not we can use 8 down as a crib for this. And yeah, I think we can, because if you, so I think the answer, so autumn, so to speak, is old age. And now that I'm thinking about our missing two letter C's, if you put the letter C before both those words, you get cold cage. And a cold cage would be an icy enclosure. And again, with Brendan's trick he's doing here, it's the reversal, so the symmetry also holds true, so that's great. Okay. What's 16? So again, it'll have symmetry with 4 down if it's of any help to us. 75% of display in public was excessive. So if you overshoot something or overshot, it was excessive in the past tense. And yeah, so display can be the word show, and 75% of it, i.e. all but the last letter, is SHO. And public is the word overt, and that again has symmetry with 4 down, so that fits. So we're left with 23 across. Impression about article by journalists being downer. So I think downer is still the definition, like a depressive or depressant. Depressant. Okay, that makes sense. So the press, a journalist, the article in this case is in the sense of grammar, like the and of, or in this case the letter A, and another word for an impression is a dent. You put all that together and you have depressant for downer or being downer. Okay. Can you do it getting 1 down to complete the northeast and west corners? So it's going to have symmetry therefore with 18 down, attachment from down under going astray in the mail, PS left out. So I think it's the letters PS removed, in which case the word astray there might mean that PS is part of the wordplay, and actually left out could be remove the letter L. So if you anagramize the mail PS and take out the L, what you actually end up with is mateship. So, and again, that supports the reversal idea in 18 down, and mateship, I can only assume, much like the term friendship, you know, Australians say good day mate and hello mate and that sort of thing. I won't do the accent because I'll probably get arrested. But I think that's where the down under clue is coming from. There is mate is the sort of slang for friend, so I'm presuming there's a definition there. Okay, let's turn our attention to 24 down. So leaves person from one African country for another. Okay, so again, using 2 down, Mali is a place in Africa, and Somalia and so taken out of that as well. So Somalia, with the so taken out, and yeah, Mali is another. 26p is enjoying. Okay, so it is. Okay, I want that to be equality. And I suppose E for English and upper classes once. I guess people of quality and peers as equals. It's a bit weak, that one, but I want it to be. And then 24 across, person writing second message shortened by 60%. So another one of these subtraction type clues. Um, Message shortened by 60%. I want that to be memo. Why is that? Memorandum, and take the random part of that off. I guess that's 60%. You're left with the word memo, which is a message. Oh, me mo. A person writing second. Well, just a mo, just a second. Oh dear me. Okay, I think we're done. Well, what a great crossword that was. Some great symmetry there, and I think once you twigged the sort of style here, I think you could use that to your advantage to sort of fill in the rest. Great puzzle. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you for the next one. Thanks ever so much for watching.